Hello, it's me. A fucking metal move then, rather spookily. It's Mr. H. Now basically, Vladimir Lenin is reputed to have said the best way to control the opposition is to lead it. Someone put an interesting comment on here about David Icke and saying that he's a co-intelligence agent for the government. As with Alex Jones, who supposedly half of his family work in the CIA.
Right.
Now, I think a lot of what David Icke says, 90% is spot on. I'm currently nearly finished a book of his called A Perception Deception. And this video is in no way to discredit him, because I do respect him. But I just like to question why he charges so much for his books, why he charges for these weekly podcasts, these video casts he does, and why he charges a ticket, or an expensive ticket when he plays Wembley, which he always sells out, and he only lives in a small flat in the Isle of Wight.
Yeah.
So my question would be, there was also some controversy when he started this People's Voice television station of money going awry. So my question would be, where is this money going? Also, a lot of these people just tell us what bad's going to happen to us, but they don't kind of give us a solution.
No.
To my knowledge, Alex Jones and David Icke, they just sit there and tell us, but they don't say, right, we've organised a march this day in London. I could be wrong. If I am wrong, please just put me right. It just seems a case that, oh well, this is what happen. You've got to get a chip, you've got to be surveilled, you've got to be eating like chemical foods in a pill form, you've got to be a slave and all this, living in built-up shoeboxes kind of thing in Agenda 21. So, although I respect David Icke, there is some things that don't make sense. I was reading his book and it said about his point was that Capitol Hill in America, he said that capital is the Latin word for skull, and I looked that up and it's not, it's cranium. You know what I mean? I think to a certain respect with him, he tweaks things to fit to his whole ideology. A lot of what he says is bang on, and a lot of, and you know, I'm not discrediting that for a minute, and I respect him, you know. But I would just said there are questions to be raised about. So my question to you, Mr. H, is, what if all the so-called opposition or alternative media is actually controlled and actually part of the bigger media, and there is really no one on it? There is no one fighting for the just cause of the people, and it's all just another facet of the big machine. That is my question to you, Mr. H.
I think you could have a point regarding that, because it'd be very easy for someone to come out, and why people are bothered with all this stuff as David Icke and Alex Jones is coming out with, they're not looking at the bigger picture. They're not bothered about the fact of nuclear power stations being built, etc, etc. But my main concern with somebody like David Icke is he's a doom monger.
Yeah.
And he sort of soft pedals fear. He taps into people's fears. You know, let's face it, a lot of people that go to these things, in some way their lives are, where can I put it? I'm not saying they're on a downer, but you know, they've got problems.
They're looking for something.
And they're looking for somebody. So it's very similar to these that go to a clairvoyant. You know, it's that type of thing. And my greatest worry with him is, I think he learned an hard lesson at Wogan. He learned a very hard lesson.
Did you see though that when he went back on Wogan and he trounced Terry Wogan?
But did it? I just think Terry Wogan didn't go for him. What had happened with that is, this is just my opinion, you know, feel free for chip in, but the world had moved on a bit. We'd had things like X-Files, Outer Limits, etc. that had come on television, so people could buy into it a bit more about government conspiracies. 10 years prior to that, you'd have turned around and said, no, I can't see our government doing anything wrong.
Yeah.
You know, who would have ever thought that he got stuck in a bloody a war? But I think regarding David Icke, he learned that lesson, And one thing I really hate is if you've had the truth, if I have the truth about something, Jimmy, I will not mock people who don't believe me. There's no need for doing it because you know the truth.
Yeah.
But what they do, they turn around and he uses this word, sheeple. And nobody wants to be laughed at. Nobody wants to be thought thick. So people will go along with it now. Them same people that laughed at him that day in that audience don't want to be mocked themselves. You know yourself, it's a very cruel thing to do to somebody, mock them.
Yeah.
And I think he's learned an harsh lesson with that. You know, sometimes these people, they claim to be truth seekers, and when the truth is given to them, because they've bought into this idea of a conspiracy so much, they can't be shifted from it. If you were a true truth seeker, then if the truth is not what you thought, then you just turn around and say, hey, I was wrong.
Yeah. It's it seems to be a business, you see. I mean, Alex Jones, if you watch his radio, listen again, get it wrong. You listen to his radio show. There's adverts. Buy these steel shutters now for your home, for when the day comes when you're gonna need it, and you know what I mean.
Nuclear shelters. And
yeah, and they're selling all this kind of things, and you go on his website. I think fucking hell, I only come on for a look. And next thing you sat under the stairs with an old fucking Tommy hat on. Fucking.
That's it. It buys into this fear, Jimmy.
You know, but it's a lucrative business. I mean, I'm sure David Icke, although I won't admit it, is a millionaire a few times over. I'm sure Alex Jones is a millionaire, or you know. I mean, David Icke kind of portrays himself as a messianic figure. Yeah. And if you look when his picture on the back of his book, The Perception Deception, is like enshrouded in this white celestial light. But like, the thing is, to my knowledge anyway, Jesus didn't charge £30 for if he did a book. Jesus didn't give, when he did give his talks, there wasn't some old woman on the door saying that'll be £7.50, love. You know what I mean? And
I honestly think that David Icke himself may be a victim, not of what he thinks, but he may be a victim of embezzlement himself. There's probably somebody there ripping him off blind, and he doesn't know it. Because he won't be a financial whiz, he won't have control of it.
No.
And, well, there has been talk of this, hasn't there?
Yeah.
You know, of these things. It would be such a shame, because if he is proven to be a false prophet, a lot of people are going to the left wondering, where do I go from here? You know, we've said this about religious people. You know,
I mean,
proved it.
Look at Russell Brand, who he did, and now all of a sudden he did this thing called the True News, he called it, where he was talking about similar subjects. Now he just stopped like that. He just fucking stopped. Why has he stopped? Has he been told, like, Luke, if you carry on, your career's fucked?
Yeah.
Has he been told? Right, has he been threatened to stop? Was it a bandwagon? Was he trying to go down the David Icke route that he's decided perhaps not? Or, you know, I just hope that there's some genuine people out there. I mean, we could effectively start our own movement from this. I mean, in the respect of what I like about our videos is we're getting a lot of intelligent comments left. Now on my sister channel, The Wigan Joke, which is comedy, I just get comments from fucking dingbats, you know, ranging from get a job to fat scrubber to this and that. But on this channel, we are generating a lot of intelligent thought and debate with people of a like mind. So it would be a good idea, I think, if we all got together and formed some kind of movement, you know. But that's my thoughts on it, because I'm not sure if there is. I'm not sure if we have controlled opposition, or is it? I don't know. You know, the truth is, I don't know fucking anything.
And that's the state they've got you.
You don't
you personally, but they get you.
You don't know what's fucking what. You know what I mean?
At the end of the day, just as some people would say it to guts for David Icke to turn around and stand up and say what he believes in, and I truly believe he does believe it. So is the other way around. If you don't believe him and somebody stands up, then you shouldn't be shouted down for being you're a sheeple. You know, at the end of the day, this system that we have in place, it may not be the best in the world.
No.
But it's been around for so long. You know, at the end of the day, it can be dangerous, because another thing that annoys me, Jimmy, is they never show you any proof of where the sources have come from.
Well,
they come up with an idea.
Pseudo-science, I believe the term is.
No.
I mean, the lizard theory. I wouldn't say that I rule it out, because if we're made of atoms and we're not joined together. Our atoms are technically kind of like, we could shift. I don't know. I mean, Native American cultures believe in shape shifting. Now, whether that involves taking lots of mescaline, you know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know if it involves hallucinogenics in rituals like papaya. Was it that stuff? What's basically mescaline anyway? You know.
The other thing is with it though. I mean, the you know, the alien thing. I'll be honest with you. It's no surprise really that he was a young man when Quatermass and the Pit was out in cinemas. Which, if you know, they believe they come from Mars and that. And it's so close to that, it's unbelievable.
Well, in his book, The Perception Deception, he does mention a lot of films. Equilibrium, The Matrix is quoted, Avatar, and like Hunger Games, all these films, because he reckons that Hollywood shows you what's going to happen in the future. That there is messages in these films. Now, I won't really rule that out, but all I'm just saying with this video is we're open for debate. I don't know whether they are genuine. Are they just did they start out as genuine and then decide, fucking hell, I'm onto a good number here, so keep it going, like you can buy David Icke this and David Icke that and subscribe to this and whatnot. You know, because I had a really good point and I've fucking lost it. But did they start out with good intentions? Yeah, I remember what my point was. Anyone who was a real threat to the government gets shot. JFK was going to close the Federal Reserve, which gives the banking systems the power. They have a private reserve of money that the government don't own. Now, he declared he was going to shut that down. He got whacked. Anybody in history, Malcolm X was a threat with the black movement, so was Martin Luther King. There's countless people you can name who was shot because they were threats to the government. Now, why has David Icke not been shot? Why has Alex Jones not been shot? And I just don't know. My answer, my final kind of closing thought of this video, I'm not sure. I don't know what to make of it all. I do like David Icke, but there are questions to be raised. Any thoughts, Mr. H?
And at the end of the day, anyone who does claim to be a guru, which he does claim to be, shouldn't be afraid of being questioned. It should be all transparent on his part.
Right, any closing thoughts, Mr. H?
That's it, mate.
Thank you very much.